Hello. Okay, I'm just realizing that there's a bunch of wires in my face. The ring light is bad enough, but the cell phone also needs to be charged to actually do this. Okay, there we go. I know, super stylish like setup right now, right? So, but this way you can at least get to like actually view the desk. It looks like I should actually pull the camera in a touch. Maybe back telephoto. Whoa, no, that is the wrong. Dual wide. There we go. Now it's not quite so expensive. Anyway, I'm gonna get set up here and make sure that we're actually live on YouTube, even though I just got the email, you know, all that stuff. Today is Friday, December 15th, 2023. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Okay, yeah, we are no timeout lengths. You can now put people in timeout for different lengths, ranging from 10 seconds to 24 hours. Excellent, that's good to know. Okay, I gotta actually pull up an order that we are doing today because I realized I don't know what color of leather they want. Okay, looks like black. Alrighty, so I have had a massive influx of new subscribers, so if this is your first time encountering me, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am already losing the battle against winter. My hands are so beaten up right now, so I'm just going to put some lotion on here before we start. Should have done this before I actually came on camera, but you know, whatever. Today we are working on pick your own orders, and then I will hopefully be back on tonight when my kiddos are in bed, and I will get some work done on a wholesale order for Caroline of Ancient Arts Yarns. Caroline has a dye studio in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and she retails my bags there. You can also find my bags. So shipping deadlines have swept right by us. And so I do still have local pickup in Cochrane, Alberta. That's where I live. Basically it is select the local pickup option and then we'll arrange a pickup. So if you need it before Christmas, that is still the best way to do it. I do also have products with Caroline at Ancient Arts Yarns, and I also have products at Market Spot in Market Mall. They are, however, all different and all very selective. So if you're looking for something specific, you can always send me a message and I'll let you know what is available where. Or you can just have some fun and go have a look. So I've got 2 Kato bags that are nearly finished here. And then I also have large and small box bags that need to be completed. And there's a couple leather straps to finish as well, but I'm not going to be doing that on camera. I am on a time limit today. Not like I'm not on a time limit every day, but I'm on a tighter time limit today. Sorry, I'm just grabbing the stuff from behind me here. These are the Kato we need to finish. I'm on a tighter timeline today because my eldest's preschool is having their Christmas party tonight, so I have to be there. They said that they understand if you can't, but given that I do have a bit more flexibility with schedule, I'm not going to hold anyone back from getting to their Christmas party because that's kind of cruel. Alright, so I stalled out on these because I had forgotten to actually cut the handles for them, the leather handles. That's what I'm doing right now, just like that. These are, so the handles for the Kato bags actually get cut from offcuts where I've messed up typically, or there's not enough to make a full strap from, all of that. This piece, obviously, I messed up the cuts on. It's one of the pieces, so there's a couple of pieces of equipment I really want to buy next year. One of them being actually a leather strap cutter, and the other being another camera. Mostly because I want to be able to record video in both orientations, so that I have more content in the vertical that I need for Facebook or for YouTube and Instagram and all of those ones, and then also have content creation for YouTube. So there's 2 things I want to buy. One is definitely the camera. 2 is definitely that other thing, the leather strap cutter. Tandy just changed their leather strap cutter though, and now it's manual, and I'm kind of like, well, do I want a manual or do I want a like an electrical? So the electricals are like double the cost though, so it's kind of like oof. So this is one of the custom orders. Absolutely glorious. I am behind on pick your own orders. Unfortunately, the re-entry after Mid City was intense, and then we were sick for about a month, and now it's nearly Christmas, and I'm just like, where did the time go? I don't get it. So this is just the cats, freaking adorable, so adorable. I love it. All right. So first things first, we're gonna actually clip on the straps for both of these, and then we'll go through and we'll do the oh, did I screw that up? I 100% did. These are supposed to be different directions. Okay, so it's actually supposed to be the same direction as that one. Okay, I cut these long though because I was like, I am going to mess this up. I just had a suspicion. Yeah, so that means I did mess up both of those though. That's annoying. Okay, I cut them longer. Super annoying. Okay, which direction do I cut this off of? They're both good directions, whatever. So the angle on the cut is so that it actually lays well when it's sewn into the bag. That's why we do the angled cut, because as you can see, if I just did a straight cut like this, it would be all like warped and warbly, whereas doing the angled cut like this gives us a much nicer lay down of the actual handle. Okay, it was legit just here. I have a little 6-inch ruler that's like perfect for this, but apparently I have moved it. Alright, well, I'll use the one that I stole from my, oh, there it is on the floor, of course. And there's some clips on the floor. Surprise! Okay. Alright, so if you're watching this right now, if you're watching this later, what have you guys been getting up to for Christmas crafting or holiday crafting, whatever holiday you celebrate? We celebrate a non-secular Christmas. Neither my husband or I are religious. My mother and father-in-law are kind of not to the point of like, gotta go to church on Christmas or anything like that, but definitely more than we are. Anyway, so we celebrate non-secular Christmas. That's how I qualify it. We are very much into the Santa in this household, so that's good. Anyway, I've been making, so we're going away to Disney World in January. My husband and I have been training for the Dopey Challenge, which is a 5, 10, a half, and a full marathon. And so that's coming up at the beginning of January, and basically I want to make sure that my kiddos have some clothing for that event, because they, well, not the event, but like going to the parks afterwards and stuff like that. So I'm going to be making muslins, wearable muslins basically, so I bought some cheaper fabric than what I'm going to use for the actual stuff, and I need to get those finished because that is coming up super fast. We leave way too soon. Dallas has to pack when he's actually home this next time because I am not doing it. I'll probably still have to pack the kids, and I definitely have to pack myself, and I'll probably have to pack the kids. So he gets to pack himself this time, which he usually packs himself, but it's just like you have to pack yourself next time you're home because I am not going to be doing it. Alright, so I'm going to actually fold the drawstring in half here and then fold the bag in half so that we get it placed nicely, or nicer-ish, I guess. And then, yeah, my eldest, I'm running behind today and running off schedule today because my eldest had their Christmas concert and like Santa breakfast this morning. I didn't realize it was actually going to be a little concert. If I'd known, I would have been better prepared. I.e. I would have actually had Dallas come home. So we'll remember that for next year, is that he needs to be home for that. And yeah, so we were late, like, getting to school, and we're just, I don't know, one of those mornings. Just been one of those months of, like, just kind of behind on everything. I know that's probably because I've been so busy this year. Usually December and January are like my down time, but it's not going to happen this year. So I am looking forward to Disney because it'll be like a break. But I do have Airdrie actually January 20th, I think. It's like the third Saturday in January, and I'm like, oh right. So we're going to be doing these pick your owns, and then I got to do wholesale order for Caroline, and then like that Twixmas is what Dundernit used to call it, was the in between the two holidays, right? So in between Christmas and like New Year's. So I'm gonna move the mic a bit closer because someone pointed out that I was really quiet the other day. There was no sound. Now there was sound still, but that should actually help. I'll pull it closer to me. I am sorry to anyone with earbuds. That was probably extremely loud. Anyway, the Twixmas period before we actually head out of town is going to be like filled with basically getting shit done. The problem with that being that, well, at least my eldest's care is closed. I don't know. I think my youngest might still have care, which will be awesome because they are in a mood, like just a destructive mood right now. And that's fine, but it's kind of like, kid, oh my goodness. Yeah. My eldest hit 3 really hard. My youngest has hit 2 really hard. Just like in a complete no phase. No. Just constantly. Like, and for stuff that they want too. And it's just like, why? So we gotta work on like those natural consequences, right? So it's like, okay, do you want this thing? No. Well, then you don't get it, even though I know you want it. Not within reason, of course, and everything like that, but it's just like, holy crap, kid. They are testing the patience. Alright, so I'm working on getting the drawstring channels clipped into the Kato bags that are on order right now. And actually after this, we're going to have a really fun order for a tote bag in the new style with a navy bottom. Navy bottom, a natural color lining, natural canvas lining, the colors, natural canvas, and then and then it'll be leather handles and everything like that, which I will cut off camera probably tonight when I actually like get back on camera, hopefully. So there's gonna be, anyway, I was just chatting about how basically typically right now I'm in like my nice down period. I'm kind of like, I'm not doing this catch up like I am right now. Usually it's like December is my prototyping period. Although I'm also at the point where I'm not adding much next year. Actually, that's a lie. Never mind. I said that and then I was like, no, Katie, you've got like 3 or 4 products already like tested or going into testing here soon. Can Do Crafts, who actually designed and put out this Kato bag as well, just put out a pattern for a rice bag style that I've been eyeing up for actually a few years. I really like how clear the instructions are. So I got that, and it'll probably be up. So I've applied for sorry, I'm all over the place. I'm out of practice right now, and actually I've got quite a bit to talk about today. So you know, it's always how it goes, right? Anyway, I have applied for Odafest in Calgary, which is the anime festival here. I figure it's going to be a really good fit for the business, or at least I don't think it's going to be a bad fit to go to for an event. And so we're going to focus on like a lot of the like Japanese style bags and Japanese prints, and so this, I think they're traditionally called a kome bag. Kome being raw rice, basically. If you've heard the joke that Gohan from Dragon Ball is named after rice, he is actually, but it's cooked rice. So like you'll use Gohan in like Asa Gohan, which is breakfast, or like Hiro Gohan, which is lunch, or Ban Gohan, which is dinner. Anyway, so it's a rice bag, and basically it's got tabs for the drawstring instead of like a full drawstring channel. It just looks really cool. It's a nice cylindrical bag, which I don't have currently on hand. All of these are wedges. So I'm excited to test that out. I am nearly done that experiment with the, sorry, typically I base this in, but honestly, I think I'm just gonna pin the lining and go for it. What else? Cell phone bags, which if you saw my last stream, that's what I was working on. I haven't gone back yet to actually put the interfacing in. Again, the month has gotten away from me, but that's something that I'll do in the Twixmas period. And then what else was I going to do? Oh yeah, there's bags. I'm making bags for my embroidery folks. It's something that I have thought about, and then one of my good customer friends, she's like one of those people who's on the cusp of being a customer and a friend, customer that's become a friend, has commissioned like a bag, and so we're working on that. I'm really pleased with what I did. It just was too small, so I've got to do one more test run a little bit larger just to make sure that it fits the hoop sizes that we think are going to be the most common, and then I'm going to start adding those into production as well. Now they are going to be a bit more expensive. They use a lot of fabric, but they're a snap bag. They'd also be extremely good for knitting needles, so I think I'm going to do a couple different sizes, one a little bit larger and then one a little bit smaller. I should have pulled it out and like had it here so I could show you guys, but that's okay. We'll just tease with talking about it instead of actually showing it right now, since I'm not done prototyping it. But I am really pleased with it. So what is that? The cell phone bag, the embroidery bag, and the Kome bag. So yeah, it's like this is the time period when I'm supposed to be actually testing these products for production to see if I can put them into production, and instead I've just been like, not. My drive, that was part of it, is like I think I pushed really hard for Knit City, and typically I'm allowed a down period afterwards, but it's been a really big push. Not necessarily for work, but for the training for the Dopey Challenge. And that's where like a lot of time and energy has gone, because right after Knit City was like the ramp up into the really long distances, like 17, 20, and 23 miles. Now this weekend is supposed to be like a simulation weekend. You're supposed to go through and basically run everything. So a 5, a 10, a half, and a full. And I just went, I can't do it. Like mentally, I'll hate it. It's cold and icy and slippery, so I can't even run outside right now. It's lonely. That was actually the big thing that got me on the 23-mile run. So I was like, I am lonely, and this sucks to be doing by myself. Whereas like when you're in a race, there's like, and especially with these Disney races, there's gonna be spectators and people cheering you on through the whole thing pretty much. Plus the added benefit of like you're running through the parks, so I'm gonna get to see like Cinderella's castle when like in the morning as I'm running through the parks. So yeah, that's where a lot of the energy has gone in these fall months instead of like to the business. So I am looking forward to starting the new year, having done these races, basically like really kick off the new year spectacularly, and then I can cut right back on my training. I am so excited to cut back on my training. I like running, but I don't think these like super long distances are for me, at least not the marathon right now. Realistically looking at it now, I should have waited one more year to try for the Dopey Challenge or a marathon or anything like that, simply because I did not feel like myself, really start feeling like myself until May. And that makes sense. So postpartum, their finding typically lasts about 2 to 7 years, which is an insane range. But yeah, I did not feel like myself until May of this year, which would be 2 years pretty much right on the dot, and I started feeling like myself again. Which is something that's just not talked about enough. Like, you gotta spring back and all of that, and it's like, yeah, but I just housed a human. I do think it's starting to be talked about more now, which is awesome, but it's still just not quite there yet. Anyway, I do wish I had given myself some more time, because I am slow AF. And so, like, when I'm training, 23 miles took me 7 hours. And, like, there's nothing wrong with that. The Disney cutoff is actually extremely generous. It's like 7 hours for the marathon, so I think I'm going to be fine. Mostly because someone pointed out the other day, that's 7 hours from the time that the last runner crosses the start line. And they're like, do not count on these buffers. But like, that's still a half hour to 45 minutes. And that is where I am going to like, I'm probably going to end up being somewhere around the 7.5 hour mark for a marathon. So yeah, like super slow. About 6 kilometers an hour. So I think these longer distances, I am going to run a half in Calgary in May, when I haven't just run a 5 and a 10 and have a like full marathon looming the next morning. So that'll be good. My last half I ran in Fernie was a 3.5 hour marathon. I'm really, or 3:20. I'm extremely pleased with that. But it was basically a trail run, which I was not prepared for mentally or physically. Like, I was not wearing the proper shoes. It rained. I know it sounds like a bunch of excuses, but there was a lot of factors in that 3:20. I have a feeling if it had been a better course, I would have probably been around the 3:10 to 3:15 mark. But they literally send you up the side of a mountain on that race. So I am pleased with the time I got there. But I want to see what I can do when I don't have to run up 100 meters in the middle of a half marathon. Right, so, but I'm also extremely excited to like cut back on my training and lose some, like, I gotta get back down below my pre-pregnancy weight. I am diabetic, so I need to take that into account. And like, the other thing is I want to start seeing a dietitian to start like eating properly for my goals. A sports dietitian that has hopefully like a specialization in sports. Because here's the thing, I am not the only active diabetic. There's a lot of type 2 and there's a lot of type 1 diabetics that are also extremely active, and I need to talk to someone to make sure that my like nutrition is lining up with my goals. I also want to do some weight training. Like, the running is one thing. I will maintain the running, but there's other things I need to get back into my, like, I was gonna say circulation, but that's not right. It's like in my rotation. There we go. So like this month I am really focusing hardcore in on the cross training, which actually is helping my foot quite a bit because I have some ongoing plantar fasciitis because it's just liking to hang around. That's fine. I'll get it eventually. But we're really focusing in on making sure we're cross training with spin and yoga. And in the new year, I'll be doing spin and yoga and running for sure. And maybe some swimming occasionally as well, because swimming is such a good all-over body activity. So, alright. This is why I dislike drop-in linings. They always like to, like, excess fabric. Drives me nuts. Some days it's like they're perfect, and some days they want to fight. Okay, anyway, there's those two sewn. So now we're gonna actually turn these out. So if you have ordered a pick your own order from me, I am clearing them up. Hopefully mostly today. Everything is cut, I just gotta get it sewn. Oh yeah, then this one's going to need a crossbody strap. Now these will have to wait a couple days to, basically I'll finish them up today, and then I'm going to glue the tags on them today, and then they'll ship out on Monday, maybe, actually Tuesday probably. I know that sounds insane because it's like an extra day, but why I would do that is because I'm going to be in Calgary. Actually, I might be in Calgary on Monday. No, we're making the trip on whatchamacallit, Tuesday, so I don't waste gas. Anyway, so this will get, it's so cute. That is friggin' adorable. Oh man, this woman made excellent choices. So she's like, I just want all black, and that looks so good. Anyway, I'm gonna glue the tag onto these today. that needs to set for about 24 to 48 hours. Why is my phone being so... Sorry, I keep seeing it freeze up on my laptop. I'm hoping it's not freezing up on your end. Anyway, so that one is one of the Pick Your Owns from Knit City. I'm sorry I don't remember your name. Not that you probably want it announced on social media anyway, so. And then, oh, I sewed this, but I didn't turn it yet. Sweet. I forgot that this one's done. Well, there we go. Oh, I guess we should do the closing seam too, and then the top stitching, and then we'll be done these guys, except for the leather tags. Right. Oh my goodness, this one's so good too. Oh, guys. All right, this fabric is, I have a friend who comes over and helps occasionally, and she kept like just oohing and awing over this fabric, and yes, it is so freaking good. Look at that. It's so good. And it's got black leather, and then it's got gunmetal tabs. Just realized I'm in the way of the tab. And then it's going to get the nice the leather tag on the bottom. And yeah, oh, that's so good. Anyway, yeah, I'll be shipping these out on Tuesday because, yes, I know that's a day extra, especially in the holiday rush, but shipping in Calgary has saved my butt so many times. It typically means it saves at least a day getting out of Cochrane, and sometimes more. I once had parcels, I dropped them off in like a mailbox, which is typically fine. Usually, like, they're always supposed to get cleared, right? Monday to Friday between 9 and 5, whatever. No big deal. Dropped them off, got a message, it's like, hey, where's my parcel? And I'm like, well, I dropped it off. They didn't pick the mailbox up for a week. And so, if you're watching this and you're planning to order, heads up that the shipping deadlines, I cannot guarantee that it's going to get there in time for Christmas right now, even at this point, obviously, because them not picking their mailbox up for a week means, like, that's completely out of my control, and that's always what small businesses are talking about. It's like, as soon as it leaves our hands, we have absolutely no control over anything, basically. We do our best. If you are local to me, I am more than happy to arrange a local pickup. I also have bags available at Ancient Arts Yarns down in Southeast Calgary, just off the Blackfoot, as well as Market Spot and Market Mall. Anyway, however, I do have hope. These are all, well, so far these are all Canadian orders. I have one US order. I know the shipping deadline was today, so I doubt that'll make it for Christmas. They were fine with that. They knew there was a longer timeline on this. Anyway, but if I ship from Calgary on Tuesday, it reduces the wait time, the amount of time it waits in the mailbox, at least by at least a day, sometimes a week apparently. That one was terrible too, because so that happened right when I broke my ankle, I think. Was it? Or I shipped them right before we went out and I broke my ankle in between or something like that. I can't remember. But it was like, or I got my mother-in-law to drop them off, or like, it was a weird circumstance anyway. And then they emailed me and like, where's my parcel? And I'm like, I shipped them. I promise. I don't know why they didn't clear the mailbox. So yeah, these will be going into a post office in Calgary on Tuesday. Actually, they might not be. They might be going to a UPS. So it's insane, but UPS has been like 30% cheaper than shipping through Canada Post, which I'm like, how are you saving that much? So like on all my typical parcels, it's a savings of like $5 a piece typically right now, and I'm like, how? Are you like underpaying your employees that much? Like, here's the thing, I don't mind paying for stuff as long as the employees get paid. But that feels remarkably suspicious. So, it may not be Canada Post, it might actually be UPS. Which, moot point, it still will be shipped out of Calgary. because the access point for UPS in Cochrane is closed on the weekend. And given that today's Friday, these are not going out today anyway, since the tags have to dry and everything like that. Alright, there we go. I will go through and I'll trim up the ends when I go to put the tag on it, but that is it. Finished. Oh, it looks so good. I do have this coming up in a gray charcoal bottom as well. It's like, well, I'm already cutting the fabric, we may as well cut one to go for gray. So that's it right here as well, which I really like because it like pulls out the gray of these little bit darker gray cats. They're super cute. Okay, so there's that one finished. I'm gonna do the same to the fans, and then we're going to go on to, sorry if that's really loud rustling. No, that's not it. Alright, this needs, okay, this still needs black leather strap. This one is here, and then we're gonna go in and we're actually going to work on the Luxe tote that has the navy bottom, because that needs a little bit more work, because I'll have to cut the straps and stuff for that tonight as well. Before that came on stream, I was like, man, I kind of want to nap, and then I was like, no, I don't actually want to sleep. I want to get my work done. The kids have been sleeping really well recently, so I've actually been able to like they haven't been coming into our bed until later in the night, which is remarkable. And actually my eldest has just been bringing themselves into the room, which is super nice, because for the past couple weeks they've been like in their bed screaming for me or Dallas, and like just refusing to get out of their bed and just come into our room. So it's like, oh my goodness. My youngest has been just toddling in, but they've also shifted. So a lot of times they'll come into bed around 1. But the last few days it's been like 5:30. So I hope I'm not jinxing myself. But it's like I've actually been getting more sleep, which has been amazing. Or less disrupted sleep, sort of thing. Alright, there's the fans. And then, so these Kato bags, if you're looking at them on the website, actually do have 5 interior slip pockets. So there's 3 on one side, and there's actually 2 on the other. They're a little bit larger. And then these are really good for, like, obviously my main market is knitters and crocheters. If you're not a knitter or crocheter though, you can use this as a purse because it's got the D-ring tabs to actually make it a crossbody. But if you're a knitter or crocheter, you can throw your stuff in here and you've got it's like a really awesome project bag. I really like this shape. This is something that I really wanted to do originally when I was making my first summer of making bags, sort of thing. Don't have a lot of like experience sewing, all of that, and I could not. So I was just talking about how the drop lining, drop linings are still like my nemesis or the bane of my existence. They are not my favorite way to put linings into bags. Because there always seems to be something. There's always excess fabric or whatever. Anyway, but when I first started sewing, I could not do it at all. Like, there was no way for me to do it. And have it come out at a quality that I thought I was going to be able to sell. So I set it aside. Whatever, not a big deal, really. Annoying, but not a big deal. And then I came back to them last summer and I went, okay, this is that new project bag pattern. I saw Jess of Okla Roots make it. I really like it. I really want to add this like style of bag into my shop, blah, blah, blah. And lo and behold, because of my experience, I was actually able to add these Kato bags in. So, I guess moral of the story is that if you're struggling with something in your craft, whatever it is, or something maybe in life, maybe don't take a decade to get back to it, but time usually does solve a lot of problems. Anyway, so now with those Kome bags, which are like basically a fancy, so it's based off a traditional Japanese rice bag. I guess they must have carried rice in them. Pretty sure they're called Kome something. Anyway, but they're a style I've been watching, and they're going to be an interesting one to tackle because they actually have a circular bottom, and also that's always fun and interesting. I say fun sarcastically because, ugh. Again, circular bottoms into like a cylinder has not been my strong suit in the past, but we're gonna give ourselves a challenge this year because everything else is kind of pretty straightforward. It's mostly rectangular. And then will I be satisfied with what I have in the shop? Probably not. I think after that we're still gonna be adding stuff. I definitely want to be making some more wallets this year. If I get accepted into OdaFest, I will make sure that I've got more wallets for that event because that feels like an event where wallets would be good. Also want to make sure that I focus in on those cell phone bags because I feel like that would be good for that crowd as well. Alright, here we go. We're going to poke out all these corners. Do I actually have a corner point pusher? Yes. Do I know where it is right now? No, because that's always how it goes. Alright, so with this one, this bottom edge is going to be sealed up when we actually sew it into the bag, but we are going to go along the top and top stitch it because obviously you can't sew a square into a bag and like I can't do the whole thing. So basically when we sew it into the bag, this will all get top stitched and closed when we sew it into the bag. But right now we're going to go across the top of this because otherwise it would be completely sealed down and useless as a pocket. Now the Luxe tote bags, that's what I'm working on right now. I'm working on a Luxe tote bag. It's the grown up big sister of the big bag. Same size, but it is lined in canvas. It typically has pockets. I don't have a lot available right now, like ready to ship, because I'm finding that a lot of people, it's better for people to build what they want. It's better for people to build what they want instead of me guessing what they want. So basically you can go in with this one. We've got some navy bottom. I have not put the money into buying more navy. I bought a little bit at a local supplier, but I'm trying to keep my costs down for the end of year. So I ordered my like very like needed items. Like I needed more black canvas and I needed more pocket lining for my like anything basically if I was gonna be doing anything. Oh shoot, I'm gonna have to swap out to black here. Okay. Sorry, I just realized I should make sure which direction I want this to go. Okay, so we're gonna do one direction and one the other direction. This isn't a super directional print, but there are certain ones that are like this guy is facing up right now, and she's facing like this maid kind of one is facing down right now. So we'll just make sure that we flip it the other direction when we actually sew it, so that some of them are facing up and some of them are facing down. This feels extremely light. Oh well, it's still, it actually, no, it complements the fabric, that's fine. Okay, so we're gonna do, this is the new style too. So the new Luxe tote bags and the new big bags that'll be coming into production for 2024. Oh, sorry. Luxe totes are mostly going to remain pick your own, because they are at a price point where selecting what you would like it to look like and like what kind of pockets and closures and leather and all of that that you would like to have is very likely much better to be done yourself. Alright, so she's upside down there, so we're going to make her right side up here on this side. But anyway, this is the new style that we're going to be doing for 2024 for the Luxe tote or the big bag, which means that they are going to have canvas bottoms. They're still going to be the same shape and size, but someone requested a canvas bottom earlier this year, and when I went to do the custom order, we realized that it looks and feels way better with the canvas bottom. Basically, it like upgraded it so that the Japanese fabric pops a lot better than just making the whole bag out of Japanese fabric, which is so weird. It's so weird. But like, look at that. It looks so good. I don't get it. We are doing a little bit smaller bottom on this one than I did previously. Previously, I did half and half, basically. This one, I am doing a 2/3 and 1/3 by special request, because you requested that it be a smaller amount of canvas, and that's fine. I think this is a better ratio anyway. Now, the question is, I am using sew in interfacing today because it's what I had on hand without having to like cut it from the bolt. In the future, however, this will be actually fused in, because I do find that that does give it a bit, like, it just makes it easier to sew. The body is the same. It's mostly just so that the cotton actually matches, like the quilt cotton matches the canvas in weight. All right, I think, so basically what I'm debating right now is if you fold the seam to the back of the canvas kind of takes precedence at the bottom, and then you top stitch the canvas like that. Or, so there's that, that's nice. I like that. That's how the Kato is done. I have noticed a little bit more difference though. And then if you did it so that the canvas goes to the back of the cotton, which is the way it also wants to lie, so we might just go with it just so I don't have to fight it. The Japanese fabric takes more precedence. I think we're gonna go with the Japanese fabric takes the precedence. Now, do I top stitch it with white or do I top stitch it with black? And I think we're gonna go with black, because this is quite a dark, it's not like a super dark fabric, but between the navy and the dark teal back here, we're gonna go with black. Alright, which means I need to track down my black threads. There's black thread here. And I need my bobbins. Alright, now you're also always welcome to ask any questions you may have about like the process, why I go to Japan, anything like that. I basically just do stream of consciousness for these things, and that's kind of why I'm just blathering on about whatever pops into my head right at the moment. Sometimes that works out awesome, sometimes that, I don't know, it doesn't, it's never terrible. Well, that's a lie. Sometimes things pop out of my mouth and I'm like, I cannot believe I just said that on stream. But we try to avoid those things. Alright, I'm gonna trim this thread here because it's split. I was actually using like a fabric glue on here and it's still kind of tacky here, so I need to actually clean my sewing desk because I keep running my hand over it and it's distracting. I also need to clean my sewing machine. Alright, there we go. Like that. I just realized there is some thread probably wrapped around my hand, like the drive shaft for this. Because of course, if it's not the cats, it's the kids, and this summer it was the kids. I moved my sewing machine recently. It has been an extremely good move because now, like, so over this direction is actually the big picture window. Because I'm in a walkout basement now. And so when I open the blinds, it's like a nice, bright, airy room. Whereas when I was before, I was sitting with my back to that window. Last summer, originally, let's roll this all back. Why it's either the cats or the kids. So last summer I was sitting with my sewing machine facing the window, which, hey, awesome, I got this awesome view. Not that you're really looking up when you're sewing, of course, but, you know, whatever. I could dream and hope. But the Flynn walked across my desk, and lo and behold, I didn't realize this, but so Flynn's our great big orange Norwegian forest cat. And he's an orange cat. They are stubborn and insane. Anyway, he walked across the desk and the thread got pulled over the actual like thing back here that's the hand wheel and everything like that. Got wrapped around the drive shaft, and then so I got most of it cleared out, and then it started leaking. So earlier this summer I actually got the machine taken completely apart on that end. I still haven't redone my needle synchronizer, all of that. The needle synchronizer is loose, so if you see me kind of tapping something in over here, that's what I'm doing, is the freaking needle synchronizer, so it's not like thumping against the machine all day. Anyway, however, oh, so after that I moved it and it was sitting against the window and I was like, okay, I'm happy with this here, blah, blah, blah. But we've changed the whole structure of the basement this summer, and I was like, I looked at it even, I don't know, when did I move this around? I don't even remember. It doesn't really matter. But I moved it because I was like, okay, well, I don't, oh, right. I had oh my goodness. I had a computer desk here, and then I was like, well, I don't need a computer desk because oh my goodness, I'm sorry guys, I'm gonna just get my phone back online. And I don't need a computer desk because, actually I should just make sure that there's nothing urgent through for, okay, good, no. I don't need a computer desk because I'm working on a laptop now, so it's like, why do I keep a desk around with a computer I'm not using? So I moved it out, blah, blah, blah. And now we moved my sewing machine around, but that does mean that it's a little bit more exposed than it was before when it was in like the corner and I wasn't having to worry about the kids playing with the threads. And then the other day my youngest came along and just like pulled the thread right through my hand wheel. So now I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna have to take it apart again here in the next couple months and like actually clean it out again. Now granted, that is good maintenance anyway. It's just really annoying because it's always like, I don't know if whoever's watching are parents or anything like that, but I find that you clean it up and you clean it up and you clean it up and then they just destroy it in like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. I just went through and I did a massive clean of the basement, like cleaned up everything off the floor so I could like vacuum and actually clean the carpet, because a whole nother story is that we were going to do like laminate down here before we moved the business in, and then I was just like, no, we can't wait for that because I need to get working, because we moved in May. Still took me a couple months to set up the studio, all of that. Blah blah blah. Whatever. But that meant that we didn't have the professional cleaners come in and actually clean the carpet like they did the rest of the house, because we were like, oh yeah, we're gonna get it swapped to laminate like right away. So what's the point in paying the extra couple $100 to like get it clean, sort of thing, when we moved in? So that was one of the deals, is that I was gonna go through and I was gonna clean the carpets this year. So that's what I did. Everything was nice and tidy, nicely set up again, all of that. And then, of course, the kids came in. My husband came down when he was home last week, and he's like, man, they just, like, destroyed this place again. And I'm like, yep. And then, because that's just how it goes. Like, they are, sometimes they're just on a mission, a destructo mission. And I can't always say, like, I'm pretty sure it's mostly my youngest that instigates it, but that doesn't mean that the eldest doesn't like to participate. It's nuts. It's a lot to keep up with some days. And then, of course, yeah, if it's not the kids, it's the cats, and because then the cats come down and they like throw up on the carpet, because Flynn is a fluffy monster and has a bunch of like fur to regurgitate some days. Anyway, all right, this is coming together. I don't know why I had it in my head that this one was going to take a lot longer. But it's also not a Kato. I guess it's a little bit on the, like with those things. The leather handles take a little bit of time because I have to cut them and rivet them, I guess. Rivet. Okay, I'm just going to double check to make sure that that has come out to a somewhat, yeah, close enough. All of the products are handcrafted, and so they are all typically very, very minutely different, even if you're in the same print. Okay, that one actually has the seam allowance built into it. It's a little bit crooked on that side, so I think what we're gonna do is I will sew it based on this side. Actually, I should make sure that that's. I think actually we're gonna throw this under the steam press. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna do that because it's all crinkly, and that just makes it hard to work with. Yeah, no, let's throw it under the steam press. I am sorry, I did actually intend to do more stuff recently, but Insurance and I have a collab coming up, or we had a collab coming up, but things just kind of fell apart on it. And so my content that I've been filming the past couple weeks, it has to wait. It's still obviously content that I can use, but it's just stuff I can't release yet. And so I'm like, oh, well that was, I could have used my time for something else actually. That's what it was. Not a big deal, just a little bit annoying. Alright, so while we wait for that to warm up, I may as well, actually what I should be doing is I should be running the other custom bags through right now. But I am going to have a bunch of needle stashers in the new year as well. I'm finally seeing a dent in my scrap stash, thank goodness. So we'll see. Should have put the tag on that side actually, the other side actually. Alright, well that's that done. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just waiting for the steam press to heat up so that we can throw that canvas under it and press it down. Realistically I could take this pocket and do that as well, it probably wouldn't hurt. Okay, one down. Where'd my custom order sheets go? There they are. Okay, so this is the one that's nearly done. This one, it needs white thread. Those all need white thread too, but we can actually find it in the whip box probably. Okay, so that's what we're working on right now. So we need lily pad frogs on off-white, cat crackers on aqua, and the retro vending machines on muted aqua, which I have decided is going to from now on be called Dusty Aqua, same as like Dusty Blue or Dusty Rose. Yeah, I used to call it like Saddened Aqua, and I'm still laughing about this because I actually changed the name this summer because I was like, wait, we call it Dusty Rose, why am I not just freaking calling it like Dusty Blue? And like, why does it have to sound so melodramatic and emo? I'm like, no, that's not cool. Anyway, so the names have been changed to like Dusty, which is way better in my opinion. Okay, let's see here. There is interfacing for these bags. I think I only have one large box though. Experiment bags. Stuff that needs to become bookmarks. This is stuff that just kind of got thrown into a pile here because I was like, I am not going to deal with this right now, even though I should. Oh well. It all eventually gets made, so that's what matters. Oh, these are all the Kato bags that we're working on. That's right. As well. That's big bag interfacing. Alright, where'd you go? Well, hello there. Alright, there's the lily pads. I don't need to do the fans, but if I come across a bag, I will. The cat crackers on aqua. There we are. And they've even got, oh, look at that. They're even got everything they need to go with it. There was the one that we're supposed to make Paula. I thought that we were missing this triangle pouch. Well, I guess I'm making it for me now. I'll find out if she wants it. Okay, so there is the vending machines. Got 2 vending machines. I got 2 cat crackers, and I've got 2 lily pad frogs. And actually we are going to make all of those if I can find the handles, because I am extremely short on small box bags right now. I guess the question being if I've actually got the handles for them. So I at least have the handles for the ones that are like ordered, right? No, I don't have the vending machine handles. I'm sorry if this is boring, but again, this is kind of just the stream of consciousness of like, this is what we're gonna do today, apparently. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. If you just like hearing me chat, well, here we go. Alright, so what handle am I looking for? Vending machines. Vending machines, come here. Here, vending machines. My goodness. Okay. Although there is the large box bag that could go with the fans, so that's almost done. So we should pull it to the top. So when I'm like talking about like I want to be more organized for stuff, this is part of it. Now the problem that happened here is not that I wasn't organized, but that when I went through and did actually tidy up the studio, I basically just threw all my works in progress into here, into this box. And so now everything that I had been working on as a work in progress just kind of got buried. It was a really dumb idea to do it this way. But realistically, it should all be here. And there is the actual handle. And now I remember why it's not there is because it actually needs to be tacked down. The interfacing wasn't quite tacked down on the first run. We're going to save this. So this is MicroCat on, or Cat and Microforest or something like that, which is super cute. Paula of Bad Anna's actually has most of this fabric. So I will offer it up to her, but it's very likely that I'll just be keeping it. Sounds like the steam press is actually ready. Oh yeah, and then the green. There you are. Alright. Here is the lily pads on green. So this, these are the two colorways. So we got the lily pads on off-white and we got the lily pads on green. The order for this one is a large box bag. So we're going to do 2 large box bags, probably from it. Because, hey, I'm already in box bag production, so I may as well just do it where I can. And I do need some more lining for these other ones. Okay, good to know. It's a large box bag. There's another lining piece for the small box bags. 1. And then we need 1, 2. No, I need 1 more. There's a lining for the frogs. And then I don't know what's wrong with that bag, but apparently something's up with it. That's another small box bag interfacing, which is not what we need. We need lining fabric. We need 1 more, at least 1 more small box bag fabric. We need white small box bag. Okay. That looks like a Kato cut, so that's not going to work. Those are big bag, no, those are large box bags. And if I look like I'm dressed a little bit fancy, I kind of am. My young eldest had a Christmas breakfast with Santa today, which was super fun. But we were also kind of, I don't know, I underdressed my kiddos. It's like, oh, okay. It was a little bit better once like more parents filtered in and stuff like that, because I was like, I don't know how to dress them, and they're going to care afterwards, so I don't want to dress them in anything too fancy, because I don't want them to like, there's certain things I don't want them to get messy clothing wise. and their like Christmas outfits are one of them. Okay. But yeah, I'm a little bit dressed up because of that. So I'm gonna actually put all of this under the steam press and track down another lining piece for the small box bags. I will be back in like 2 minutes. You'll hear this beep, and that'll be mostly the signal that I will hopefully be back with lining. All right. Alright, that's better. Not perfect, but better. I'm going to throw the canvas under here as well. Let's see, I think this might be a good, no, too small. Okay. Curses. Definitely too small. Okay. I thought I pulled fabric for those guys already. Alright, well, let's see. Oh, I know where it is. 1 second. Okay, so that's gonna go under. Okay, there we go. So we've got 2 white lining pieces for the 2 small white lining box bags, and we've got the large for the 1 frogs that we're gonna finish here afterwards. And then I've also got the lining for the Luxe tote bag actually pressed. It is gonna be way easier to work with. So that should be everything for what we need to actually attempt to make today. Okay, so we're working on this one right now, which is the Luxe tote. Okay. Pop it back here probably. It's the best option. So basically that looks far better. It's gonna be so much easier to work with as well. And we are going to square it up just a little bit. Obviously it's not going to be perfect because I'm not at my cutting desk, but it can be better than it is right now, which is kind of the point. We probably should swap back to white thread because this is such light colored canvas, but we'll get there. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the selvage off on this side, and that should mostly square it up. Do just like that. And I think otherwise we're just gonna kind of make it up as we go. Okay, yeah, because that's got like quite a generous seam allowance, so we're just gonna use a very generous seam allowance on the bottom here, and then we'll figure it out. We are gonna swap threads though, just so that if there's any like, so that doesn't show through if there's any like kind of gapping, there shouldn't be. but those are kind of famous last words. So, all right, this needs to be trimmed down again because it's got a fray on the end. I'll do it after I get it through all of this stuff though, the non-picky stuff. So I was talking about it earlier in the stream, but if you weren't here for that, I'm really happy with the one that I have currently, but it does need to be a little bit larger just so it fits some larger sizes of hoops basically. Should also test it out with some like Q-snap frames. Problem is that the kids have gotten hold of my Q-snap frames and used them as magic wands. Anyway, so I need to prototype it one more time and then I can show you it. But I am very pleased, like, it's come together really well. It is going to be a little bit more expensive because it uses actually a significant amount of Japanese fabric. I'm going to see if there's any way I can kind of reduce that while still making it fun, but I don't know. I don't know if it would be better to like reduce the cost or use the fabric. So that actually might be a poll that I do on Instagram to see what some of the feedback that would be good to get before I put them into production, because I prefer people to get like what they want. I still think there's value in having it as all Japanese fabric, but I also would understand if people are like, no, I would prefer to save the money on it, at least for the like interim. I just realized I could actually line it, like, so I could do Japanese front basically, and then a canvas back, and then we wouldn't need to do interfacing. That might be kind of fun. Why I'm talking about this is because it's basically, it's a folded bag, so if you use all Japanese fabric, which is where the cost comes in mostly, it's you don't see all of it. So I'm wondering if I should swap out the interior pockets or something like that. So I don't know. We are going to trim down the seam allowance on this because this canvas is quite bulky, especially once you get it actually into a bag. There we go. And it just will fit better. Now that is the wrong side. This is the right side. That feels humongous. What the heck? I guess it just feels bigger because it's like words. It feels bigger because it's canvas and stiff versus, because like realistically the cotton was just as large, but it wasn't as stiff, so it didn't feel like it took up quite as much room on the thing, sort of thing. Am I actually maybe missing chat? I was just like, wait, it says that I'm not signed in. Okay, no, I just wanted to make sure. Sweet. Okay. Sorry, my face keeps getting extremely close to this camera. And it's just that time of year where it is not necessarily looking its finest. Alright, there we go. Sweet. Okay, so that's how we're gonna center it. Now, this order is with a snap. So I think we're gonna actually put the pocket down 4 inches. No, we don't want it down that far because it's a slip pocket. So you want to be able to like reach into it as easily as possible. So let's put it down at 3 inches. So we're gonna do, let's do it 3 inches. Yes, yeah, that looks good. Okay. Or 2.5 maybe. 2.5 seems too tall, I think. Yeah, it's too high up. Okay, so we're gonna do 3 inches down from the center line, as close as I can get it now that I can't see it anymore. Now typically this is where you would use pins. If you are a beginning sewist, use pins please. Do as I say, not as I do. I scoff at pins, sorry. Mostly I don't want to bleed on my project today because that's usually what happens. I just realized I could actually go back and reinforce this with a little like angled corner. That would probably be a nice touch. Okay, and then we're gonna go down there and we're gonna turn. Okay, so as I said before, this top stitching is also closing the bottom of the pocket. It do that before. Now, if you want, and you're making bags and you want to do slip pockets in them, you can 100% close your whole pocket before. I prefer doing it this way though, because then I don't have to worry about exactly catching the same stitch lines, because it drives me even more than like closing it up like this. It drives me nuts to not be on the same stitch lines, basically. Alright, and besides, this looks nice and clean. Oh, so good. Okay, there's a nice clean put in pocket. So the request was for one slip pocket on one side, so there's a nice slip pocket on one side. It's gonna fit a phone or keys or anything like that sort of thing. Could have made it a little bit, probably a little bit more relaxed, but whatever. It's still a slip pocket. Alright, there we go. Alright. I keep saying alright. Apparently that is my segue sentence today. I'm going to put these together. And then we're going to stitch them together. And then we're going to smash the two, well, we're going to wedge it. And then we'll smash the two pieces together. So this is getting generous seam allowance. So a little bit less seam allowance at the bottom. One of the tricks that I learned about to do a little bit cleaner, like drop-in lining for tote bags, so it's not so like whatchamacallit, it's not so baggy. It should actually help with bagging of the lining. I hope. We'll see. Just realized I don't really need to do these as drop-in linings. I could still do them as though I was actually like putting in a zipper. I don't know why I never thought of that before. Oh well. Okay, now that we've got the seam lines done, we're actually going to trim them down, because that's the other thing, is trim down your seam allowances so that there is less bulk in the actual bag. And especially with this canvas, which is nice and stiff, which is what you want, or what I want at least, because it means I don't have to interface the bag. But the seam allowance does need to be trimmed down, because otherwise it is horrendous. It just doesn't feel good. It's not horrendous, it just doesn't feel good in the actual bag. I just realized, okay, it's 3 o'clock. So I got about another hour to hour and a half that I can actually work. Probably an hour and a quarter, just so I have time to actually get myself in the vehicle and go pick up kiddos. I just realized I don't know what, I think I'm going to be doing pizza pops for dinner tonight. Dinner Friday champions, right? Okay, I'm gonna grab, sorry, move that face cam around, because my actual square ruler that I've been using recently was behind the laptop. And then we're gonna measure in from the seam allowance. I think it's that big a square. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now I need a pen to mark, because I'm not doing this by cutting with the scissors like I sometimes do. Now, most bags make you leave like an opening here to turn. I find that turning the tote bags, so the opening would be here in case that, oh my goodness, this phone camera is having a time of it, isn't it? Anyway, so typically they get you to like leave an opening at the bottom. But I don't like doing that. I like prefer turning actually through the I prefer turning them through the side wedges if and when I can. Most of the time I find that it's a cleaner turn. It's also a cleaner seam and cleaner closure. So again, usually what I suggest is like make the bag to pattern and then make your changes. Alright, I'm going to trim down these seam allowances as well, because it's not just the bulk of the interior, it's also the bulk of the exterior. The less you have on the interior of the bag, the less chance you have of bagginess. Like that the lining is going to look baggy in the bag. Which means it's just like crumply and weird. Trim. That canvas is not enjoying getting cut. Interesting. So the canvas that this is, I didn't want to invest right then in like the amount that I would need to order from my usual canvas supplier now. But so I just went and bought a meter from my local supplier, which works out because yes, purchasing my canvas from like the supplier in Montreal is more cost effective long term. But when I only need it for one bag currently, it's just kind of like, well, I don't want to shell out like the minimum, because the minimum order quantity is 10 meters. I was just like, I decided not to do that. But the stuff from Montreal is a lot nicer, so I will remember that. I know I said earlier this year that I was going to be offering brown and navy regularly, but I am not at the point to invest in that, so we're going to remain at black and charcoal for most orders for the time being. That doesn't mean that that won't necessarily change in the future, but again, the cost output right now is just a little bit restrictive in the fact that you had to order like 10 meters of it. So, but probably sometime in 24, maybe, who knows. We'll see where 24 takes us. I'm trying to get a lot of shows lined up actually for 24, so we'll see how that goes. I've applied for Odafest. I just applied for a Market Collective in Calgary as well. There's a couple coming up in the new year that I'm going to apply for, like Peace Fiber Festival in Dawson Creek. I don't even know the date for that one yet. It's supposed to be the last weekend in April. That's all I know about it. And that it's in Dawson Creek, BC. And I know that sounds really random, but Dallas has family friends up there, so we would go up and visit them, and I would do the show, basically, is how it would happen. He's home for it, so that's the other thing. But even if I get into that, that is the only show that we have to travel for this year, which is going to be amazing. I would love to do Butterdome in Edmonton, but the problem is that it does typically fall on a weekend my husband isn't home. Actually, I wonder if it... I feel like that is a multi-weekend show, so maybe I should look a little bit closer into that and see if that is something that I could join on a weekend he's home. Okay, I'm gonna run this underneath while I'm thinking about it. Mostly because it was on the floor and I was like, oh, I should probably like sew that so that I can turn it and we can top stitch it here soon. I just realized I'm gonna have to change back to black thread for the top stitching on this. Okay, that's okay. If you've been watching for a while or you've been watching these lives for a while, I do not like changing my thread. It's not so bad on this. It's like, so people always complain about the sergers being really difficult to thread, but and yes, the serger has more threads. I'm not going to say that it's easy, but I don't know. After threading an industrial constantly, my serger no longer scares me. What scares me about the serger is the tension, and I'm still playing around with that to figure out where it needs to be. But that feels like it's going to be an issue no matter what machine you're on. I just realized that the date on YouTube actually says that this is December 1st. It is definitely not December 1st. It is December 15th. Unless I've time traveled, which honestly, this December feels like I have. Who knows? My kiddos are both at that age, though, where they're extremely excited about everything Christmas, which is so adorable. They're just getting into it this year, and it's so much fun. There we go. Did I order a whole new set of turning things? Yes. Do I know where any of them are? No. I'm gonna have to get another set, probably. Which is super annoying. The turning things are basically, it's a plastic rod with a stick, and then you put it, yeah, anyway. It is not something I typically do on camera. It is far too salacious for the audience that I wish to attract. And so we're just gonna leave it there. That's what we're going to do. We're gonna sew this big bag here. All right, so I nest my seams, which is a quilting hack that I learned years ago. Make nice points typically. Most of the time they tell you to like press them open, but I've heard that that actually makes the seam weaker. So what I do is I open up the wedge, and then one seam goes one direction and one seam goes the other direction. You cannot really see that, I'm sorry. Hopefully the camera. So one's going this way, there we go, and one's going this way. And that helps me keep them nested properly, and it also helps make a nice seam line. That's what I find, at least. That's been my experience with it. Is it perfect? No. Especially when it like opens itself up as you're sewing over it, of course. Could I solve that with a clip? Yes. Anyway, let's actually take a look at this exterior. I think this is gonna look glorious. Oh yeah, this is gonna be so nice once it actually gets the interior canvas inside too. Again, I put some I basically did a sewing interfacing with the top cotton so that it matched. Oh, that's so good. Okay, I haven't done the smaller bottom like this before, but I think I like that even better than I like the, like, that's just nice and classy versus like taking up half the bag. I do really like that. So this was a part of the request, was that we have a smaller bottom on the base of the canvas, like less canvas, more Japanese fabric, and I think it still frames the Japanese fabric really well. Come on, phone, you can do it. We believe in you. You can actually see it better in the face cam right now anyway. Anyway, I think I'm gonna have to pull a couple people. It may go back to being a little bit higher. I might do a couple more inches on one. Actually, I think I might go back to the one that I had before, just because it was really nice. But anyway, that's this one this time. It looks really good still. I'm excited about that. We are going to reinforce our side and bottom seams here, so that is the one thing that you do, or at least I do once I cut my wedge out, is I do reinforce my seams with some like back stitching, because when you turn, it does have a higher chance of tearing, and we want to avoid that. Okay. Oops. Although realistically, it does have just as high a chance of tearing when you turn through the bottom turning point as well. So realistically, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other sort of situation. All right, let's get this relaxed into each other. This canvas is heavy. I forgot how much of a fight it can sometimes be to get this. There we go. Maybe? Yeah. Yep. Come on. Line up. There we go. Okay, this one is fighting me enough that we're gonna clip it. And like, because it's big and the canvas is stiff. Holy. Okay, there we go. Again, what we want is for it to be stiff. That's fine. But doesn't make it very nice to work with sometimes. Okay, we're gonna take the stiletto so it holds the seam allowance down, gets my fingers out of the way. And then I do front and back stitch over that seam line as well. Not much, just a little bit. Again, the more thread there is to hold things together, typically, the better your seams are, and the less likely you are to have it open. There we go. Okay, so there's the interior. So what we're gonna do is the exterior has been turned. So we're gonna maneuver it into the interior. Ooh, okay, there we go. Stay. That's a lovely shot right into the interior of the bag. Not really. Okay, I'm gonna actually open up or make the camera view a little bit wider so that, oops, I don't want to stop the video. No, start the video. Sorry, let's get this. Actually, let's stop the video while I scoot it over in its holder. There we go. Stop moving. Okay, and then we're gonna go to back ultra wide, because that, yeah, there we go. Now you can actually see into the bag instead of just like staring at the pocket sort of thing. So basically what I do here now, lots of patterns will have you kind of quarter it, which will help you kind of navigate if you do have excess fabric. But what I do is again, my stitch lines or my seams go different directions. I clip it on the corners here. And then this on this side. There we go. Like that. And then basically with these ones, I just kind of ease it in. Would it be, actually, I don't really even know if I really need to ease it in. It looks like we did pretty good on getting the seam allowance adjusted correctly for this bag. Sweet. All right, I'll take it. Now, if I find that I am getting a lot of crinkles on one side versus the other, I will basically just turn the bag all the way out, which means that, like, so right now I'm clipping it and I'll work from the exterior side to the, like, this in here. But if I'm finding that there's a lot of crinkles and it seems like it's fighting me, even if it's fighting me halfway through the stitch line on the machine, I'll just back stitch it and pull it out, and I'll turn the bag so that hopefully it doesn't fight me quite as much. Right, I think though I think we're fine. Okay, sweet. Alright, so we're gonna get, ooh, that feels like a clip that we haven't used much. Get out of here. My LED lights that like usually run under my machine finally gave up the ghost. So I guess that's one of the other tools I'm looking forward to buying in 2024 is some LED lights for my machine. Alright, so I'm going to use a fairly generous seam allowance here because there's something under my foot there. Anyway, I'm going to use a fairly generous seam allowance here because when we turn it, then I've got a fairly generous seam allowance also top stitch and get everything nice. No! Why did the thread fall out? Alright, thanks. I'm not out of bobbin thread. That's weird. Okay. Cool. Weird. Trim the end because it's all like gooblied. Okay. And that down, foot off the pedal so I don't hurt myself. And then we'll pull this through. Alright. Back under the machine. Forward, stitch back, and I think this might go super smooth. I don't think we have much to worry about today. Oh, I gotta say it. It's like sewing is definitely one of those like crafts that when it's going well, it goes so well. And when it goes poorly, it goes so poorly. Like I will probably pay for this nice smooth sewing at some point in the next weekend or so. Especially since I have so many projects that I'm on such a tight deadline for, because I want to try and get the kiddos like outfits done before Christmas hopefully, so we'll see if it happens. I guess if I don't finish it till like in the Twixtmas, although I really do want to take Twixtmas to like, so Twixtmas is the period between Christmas and New Year's. I first heard it on Dundernit podcast. She was a podcaster out of the UK. I don't think she's podcast for a few years. I know like it was basically a hobby. Anyway, well, she's on YouTube. Are we still calling those podcasts? Whatever they are. I haven't seen it go up for a while. But Twixtmas is like that week between Christmas and New Year's, where it's just kind of like, what day is it? What are we doing? You might have eaten or drank a little bit too much, like all of that, right? So, anyway, I want to use that period to be getting prepped actually for Airdrie, which means that I'll be finishing up a bunch of cell phone bags and stuff like that. Alright, so this is where this has to be fought out. There we go. Actually, that wasn't too bad either. Like I said, that was a super smooth sew-in. The Kato also fought me a bit today too, so it's kind of nice to have had this just come together. Okay. Oh my goodness, it is stiff, stiff, stiff. Now, I do want to make sure that I'm not missing any of your chat in case you're chatting at me. Keeps going, you need to like log in. Oh my god, my face is really weird there. Alright then. Okay. So this is called birthing a bag. Because, hi, you're birthing a bag. It's nowhere near as painful as actually birthing. Thank goodness. Actually, no. That's gonna make, I don't know. I had epidurals for both my births because I was just like, I am not doing this without pain management. But all the power to you if you want to, but it was not for me. It was, but the recovery is not fun. Alright, look at that. Oh my goodness, this is glorious. Okay, let's see here. Let's get this all turned and then I'll show it to you. We're gonna have to throw, actually, those other bags are all light stitching, so we're gonna throw the black thread back in to get this top stitched here in a minute. Okay, so you do typically press to do your top stitching. Again, if you're a sewist or you're newbie or beginning or wanting to, you'll press it. This is stiff enough canvas that I'm just basically going to finger roll it, and then we'll just stitch along the top. And then we'll just, oh, but look at that. That came out so nice. Nice stiff like interior with the canvas. So it's gonna stand up on its own, no problem. Oh, it's so good. Okay, and then the interior. It looks a little bit sloppy right now, but that's because I need to close up that wedge, and then it's gonna be fine. It's not too baggy. He wanted to snap. Oh, shit. Okay, sorry. Shouldn't swear too much. Although this is not made for kids, so I just realized that with the snap we should put a little bit of reinforcement actually. So we should figure out where that's going to be, and before I close it up we'll do the reinforcement on it, because that will just add longevity to the bag. It adds longevity to the bag to like add some reinforcement. And typically what I do is I just use some leftover canvas. I use magnetic snaps from Cam Snaps now, and so they just basically get pressed through. They look like a rivet on the outside. So we'll probably place it about here, which is why we placed the slip pocket down a little bit so that the like snap could go above it. Oh, it looks so good. Okay, we're gonna swap to black for top stitching on the top. Oh. I just sounded like I've been like smoking and drinking for 30 years. Awesome. Anyway, so we're gonna do black for top stitching on the top, and I'm gonna leave my bobbin thread at white, so that the interior, which is this light canvas, doesn't have the black top stitch line on it, basically. And it is gloriously sunny, so I'm just gonna go open the blinds so I get some sunlight in the basement. 1 second. Okay, now as long as that's not blinding my camera, we're good. Excellent. All right. So we are, because I'm not pressing this, I'm gonna go along and kind of clip just in a few places that are like, they're fine, but I'm gonna convince them to stay where they are, or I gotta convince them to stay where they are after I finger roll them. Like that. I just realized as well, since it is, oh no, it's white, yeah, it's white thread on the bottom, so this actually has to be turned inside out. Okay, no, so that means we're actually going to do, I should have left the white thread in and swapped to a black bobbin, which is what we'll do instead. Okay, I'm gonna, so what I'm trying to do is just make sure that these are both even or level, kind of. There we go. There, and we kind of want, like, realistically, I actually would prefer the exterior to be a little bit higher than the interior, because that's going to be, like, you want to see the exterior, you don't want to see the interior, but I think that's actually pretty even. Excuse me, oh my goodness. Apparently, my voice is going, and it shouldn't be, but okay. Rasp, rasp, rasp. Should have brought some more drinks down into the basement, actually, is what I should have done. Oh well. Alright, we're gonna, come on, thread. Nope. We are going to trim that up because apparently it doesn't want to go through. There we go. That's better. And we're gonna go around. Yeah, so 2024 is going to be really nice because all of the shows I currently have lined up, except for one, are in Calgary. And so it's like, oh my goodness. It's going to be so glorious not to have to drive places. Like, because typically, of course, I do Knit City, Vancouver, and like, I don't mind driving, but it is going to be nice to be able to sleep in my own bed every night. That's for sure. That voice is getting concerning. My goodness. Okay, well, I think I will thread this, and then I'm actually going to go grab a drink just to see if that helps clear this up, because apparently, like I said, it sounds like I've been smoking and drinking for 20 years. Okay, there we go. Alright, I will be right back after I grab like a glass of water or something. One moment. Yeah, so it's better now. What the heck? It's so weird. Okay, I don't actually know if that's helped or not. It does not sound like it's helped. So I'm chewing some gum. We'll see if something helps clear it up, or if it's just gonna be raspy until I'm done. Okay. Either way, we're gonna grab some black thread, and the black thread's gonna go in the bobbin or in the bobbin position. Because then what I'll do is I will sew it basically inside out. So the top thread is going to be the interior thread, and the bobbin thread is going to be the exterior thread. I am impressed at how raspy that got. Oh my goodness. Okay. Go. Go. Alright. Under the machine we go. I'm not going to do it super close top stitch because realistically I just realized I've got, oh well, whatever. So typically with top stitching like I do, it's mostly, well, it is to hold everything in place as well. Oh my goodness. But typically I do it at a longer stitch length than I'm doing right now. Oh well. Still looks fine. We're good. Sometimes, and some days, that's just how it goes. There we go. Alright. Man, oh man, this has come together so smoothly. It was like such a bigger project in my head than what it's actually turned out to be. It's kind of ridiculous. I don't know if you're crafters or crocheters or knitters or fiber artists or just people in general. I don't know if you do that as well. It's like you build a project up in your mind until it's like huge, and then you do it and it's like, oh, well, that wasn't as like insane as I thought it was going to be anyway. Okay, so this is where we use fire. I'm gonna go in and trim all the ends, and then I use a lighter to just basically clean up the little bit of like excess that there is, just so it's nice and like clean. I do apologize for the voice. I was not anticipating this, obviously, when I came on to chat at y'all. I just realized I don't know where my lighters are. They were hanging where the microphone is sitting right now, so where did I put them? Oh, way over there. Okay. Hey, and look at what I found. It's the point turner that I didn't know where it was. It was for the pocket. Of course. Okay. So I use polyester thread, and that's why this works. Basically, it just melts the ends down so that it sets it. You don't have like these little rabbit ears of like thread everywhere. There we go. Well done. I do have a Zippo as well, but I haven't refilled it recently, so we'll get there eventually. All right. So that bag is 2/3 done. So it's gonna need a snap, which I'll do later, and then it's gonna need the handles, which of course are like shoulder handles out of leather, and then I gotta finish the interior. I'm not gonna stitch the interior right now, and the reason for that is because I want to be able to go in and place some reinforcement fabric so that the snap has something extra to pull against. Why does it keep stopping? Oh, did it just die? No, it's still, the battery's still going. Okay, let's plug it back in. It's not gonna go straight to plug it back in right now anyway, so I've got power for later today. I don't get why it's having so many issues today though. Oh, there we go. Oh. What? It like completely booted the the phone. Okay, 1 second. We're just gonna restart it completely, which means I gotta go in and find my messages. Alright, 1 moment here. My phone is definitely warm, but it shouldn't be freaking out about it. It's weird. Ugh, technology. It is so good and so terrible at the same time. Join. We're gonna mute you. Okay, I'm gonna throw it back in and then I'll start it on the stream again. It's like, your hand is in the way. And it's like, yes, because you keep dying. I don't know why it got booted completely. We've definitely done longer streams than this and it's been fine, so I don't know what's up. Okay. Show on stream. Close. Hi. You're very close. Alright, let's get this out of the way of the face cam. Okay. And out of the way of the microphone so it's not blocking that. We are pretty much done that one. Not quite. I'm going to pop the custom order in there so that the rest of it is clear on what I need to do. Okay, and then we need to do the small, let's do the small box bags because she has been waiting a very long time for her small box bags, unfortunately. Alright. In awesome news, I did get all the May fabric. It has been washed and it has been completely ironed at this point, which the good news about that is I am going to be running a Boxing Week sale. And unlike my Black Friday sale, it will include pick your own orders. So that means that there will be a discount on pick your own orders. I haven't decided exactly what I'm doing yet for discounts. I think with the pick your own, because it's like extra work, it'll probably be a little bit less of a discount, but the rest of the shop will be on discount as well. And those discounts always include the sale items. Right now, there's not any sales obviously running right now, but bookmarks are going to always be on special. I'll finish this. So the special on those is that they're $8 a piece, or you buy 3 for 20 basically. And the 3 for 20 should still be under letter mail as well, so shipping will be included. All right. There we go. Okay, so there is the frogs and lily pads. So this is one of those really cool fabrics. It's actually a dobby. And what I mean by dobby is, and actually it looks like you can see it on the camera pretty good, is it's a warp and weft is slubby. So it's got a really nice texture to it. They are usually thinner fabrics, but because of the texture on them, they feel very interesting. They're so cool. So I think because we just finished that, we'll start with them. Actually, it doesn't matter. We gotta install the zippers on all of them, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, and I've already got one here as well. Okay. So, okay, and then we need cracker crats, and then we need... Oh, right, the handle that we're missing is actually for the vending machines. Oh, curses. Okay, I will go... Okay, so I've got both of them, and I think I can get both of the cracker cats. So that means I probably need to go actually cut the handle for the vending machines. So give me a moment. Oh, right, and then we need lining. So we can't do the double up because I don't have lining. But I will go grab the vending machines because I think their handles are probably actually in the box just across the room. 1 second. Thankfully, one of the ways I did organize myself a little bit better this year is I did this box, which is like all the handles for all the bags, or bags to be. So the handle for that one should be in here. It is not though. What the heck? Okay, so we're probably gonna have to go cut it then instead. Well, better organize my butt. It did actually work for most of the summer though. So that tells me that it's in the work in progress bin. So maybe I must have. Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna just throw this up here. Okay, there's cracker cats and other stuff. Scraps. Haha! I win. There it is. Right there. Okay, sweet. And there's the other handle. Yay! Okay, so all I need to do the double ups now is I need interfacing and I need I need lining. Wait. That's for a large box, but there's a small box bag. Okay, sweet. And there's another small box bag. Can we do it? Do we have enough? I think that's too big. Yeah, it's cotton, so that's fine. Oh, there it is. Hey! Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I need 2 more pieces of interfacing. But otherwise, we're set. Sweet. That is not for them. That's for handles, but we don't need to sew any handles anymore. Nice. Okay. If you haven't figured it out already, it is organized chaos in the studio still. So that's just how it goes. But I can actually do double ups on a couple of these, which is super awesome, although it looks like... Wait, I might not be able to. 1 second. Oh, no, I can. Okay, so there's that one. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to pair up the bag with a lining fabric and an interfacing. So because these are a little bit, the retro vending machines is a little bit darker, we're gonna go with this nice beige. Basically, my goal with lining fabrics for these bags is not to burn retinas. And so that's why we'll go with a little bit more muted color there. So that's a nice set, and then it gets a brighter zipper here because it actually matches the background color really well. At least I think so. And then frogs. It's a white lining. And then interfacing. And then it's going to get an off-white, kind of vanilla, almost vanilla colored zipper. This one. Like that. Oh, and that lining is actually upside down. So let's turn that right side up. Man, that drink really didn't help my voice at all. My throat's not sore or anything, it's just very squeaky. Oh no. Well, I hope I can sleep this off tonight. I want to come back on and chat with everyone again tonight. I don't know, maybe I'll come on and have like an ASMR stream because this is not attractive for anyone, including me. Oh my god. Can you imagine if I end up with like laryngitis or something like that? That would not be fun. Oh well. Okay, there we go. So those guys, I think, need to be matched. Well, I don't know where their zippers went. Okay. I think they should have a... I think they should have the same color as, yeah, the vending machines. There we go. Because it's basically just a darker version of the aqua that's in the background there. Okay, so there's those. And then I personally enjoy the vending machines the best. So I'm going to see if I can... Okay, I thought I had pulled more lining, but apparently we just pulled more interfacing. So we're just going to set those aside for now. And we will set these aside here because we're also going to do up the frogs. Interfacing. That looks like big bag interfacing. Let's check. The style of big bags is changing though, so oh, it's really long. Holy. Okay. And it's not wide enough, so we're gonna cut the handle lining or interfacing from this one actually. There we go. And that's how I end up with bits and bobs and leftovers of everything getting cobbled together, but that's okay. I know that I've got lots of interfacing for large box bags in this bin. So we're gonna try and do both of the frog bags as long as I can find lining for them. There we go. Well, that was close, but no stuff. Okay, now I was sewing these in great big long strips, but I was noticing that they're actually twisting more, so we're going to go back to sewing them individually and then turning them. And if I can find a lime green zipper for the special order, I'm going to do it. I don't think I have any lime green zippers left though, which is kind of annoying. You have like a chartreuse. Ooh, actually that might work well. It's like a lighter tone of the background. Yes, there we go. It's such a bright fabric that we're just going to lean into it, and I've got two, so that's perfect. All right, and then we need 2 pieces of big large box bag lining and 2 pieces of interfacing. All right, so there is the interfacing for the big box bag, large box bag. And then I don't understand. I had the lining for this one. But I don't know where it went. Okay, 1 second. Is that it? I legit just looked. No, that looks like Kato. No, it's a big bag. Okay. Oh, there it is, maybe. No, that's not going to be big enough either, I don't think. Okay, let's see. Oh, maybe it is. I think that one might be. Yeah, it's long enough. Okay. Yes. Okay, there. So there's 2 pieces of lining for the frog bags. All right. So, what did I just roll? Oh, I must have just rolled over a clip. Ugh. Sorry, clip. All right. That is actually for that project. You go over there. Okay. Okay, so these are all paired up, so I'm gonna pop. Okay, there. My voice is a little bit better. And then these are the handles. So now we're gonna take the handles that are paired up, and we're gonna sew them and turn them, and at least do the top stitching on them. I am gonna have to start watching the clock a little bit closer now because we're coming up on kiddo pickup time. That is a little bit earlier than normal, but my eldest's the preschool is having their Christmas party tonight, so obviously we don't want to hold them up too much. They have made the very nice request that if we can pick them up by 5, they would appreciate it, with the understanding that not everyone can either. Usually that one is open till 5:30, so. But given that I have a little bit more flexible of a schedule, obviously, I'm happy to try and accommodate. I also want to go through and actually try and take some photos of these custom orders and get them off to their respective customers so that they know that I haven't forgotten them. And I am actually working on their orders, and they're actually nearly done. So, you know. Should actually double check the shipping deadlines for UPS because they might not be quite as tight as Canada Post. I don't know. Alright. Although most of these are going to BC, so that's not too bad. The one I am worried about is that fan motif because it's heading over to Prince Edward Island. So that's might be pushing it a little bit. Alright. Let's get these frogs turned. Oh, so this again is the same as that off-white version of it. It's a Dobby. It's got the warp, the slubby warp and weft. Try to get this out here. Alright, and then yeah, so you can see that texture typically in the camera really well. There's a cat now. There we go. Yeah, so it's just a really nice fabric. Again, it's a little bit lighter. Doesn't feel like it though because of course it's got the texture on it, so it gives it an extra body that like a normal quilt cotton does not have, even just in general. Alright, finger press it apart. Hi cat, what's up? We will chain piece these. And we're also just gonna pick this up quick so that cat doesn't make sure that the cat wasn't going to start using that for his own bed, because that's usually what happens with fabric on the floor. And I don't want that to happen with that fabric. Okay, let's get this turned. I can't believe it's almost like officially winter. Like we're getting to the point where it's actually going to start turning to lighter longer instead of darker longer, which I am so excited for this year. I'm not even that old, and I am finding winter more and more of a struggle every year. That's why we're kind of starting to try to go away in January instead of October. We're both like, ugh. Well, in part so we don't have to put a bajillion layers onto children that go outside for 2 minutes and then go, I want to go in, I'm too cold. Also just not, I am personally not a big winter person, so. Alright, so there is the frogs ready now. Perfect. Okay. Move this back up here, out of the way. Flynn, hey, don't chew the bag. Okay, where did I put them? You can yell it at me in the chat where I put everything. There it is. Good Lord. Oh, okay, I buried it when I picked up all the stuff off the floor. Phew, okay. Alright, so there's the 2 frogs. And there's all the small box bags. We're gonna start with the small box bags. So they're all for 1 order, and she's been extremely patient with me. Alright. And then the extra ones will go in, and I'm going to cut a bunch of lining for small box bags, and that's one of the things I'm going to focus on restocking for Airdrie, which is April 20th, because I am extremely short on small box bags. Alright. There we go. So if you're looking for small box bags, pick your own orders are the way to go right now, because then you can actually select what you would like, and then I'll just make the small box bag. And now that I will have cleared my queue, turnaround time should be reduced as well, actually. So, or back to where it's supposed to be is actually the better description. It was never supposed to take this long, so. Okay, there we go. Now we're gonna take this, and we're gonna go grab the ruler I kicked off the desk. Alright, and then we're gonna mark a seam allowance, and we're gonna mark a seam allowance here. I am going to be switching to fusible interfacing in the new year. This sew-in interfacing has quadrupled in price in the last couple of years, which is not cost effective. I'm going to be switching to fusible interfacing, and to be honest, I am super excited because I'll fuse the exterior fabric, and that means that we should have less stretching of it when I'm sewing it, which means that these zippers should go in far easier, hopefully. So I really resisted fusible interfacing when I first started, because the sewing interfacing is so nice, and it still is nice, and I'm still oh, I don't want to switch to fusible. But the cost effectiveness of it is just, it's too much of a siren call to refuse. But it's, yeah, the sewing is nice because it's you just cut it and then you sew it. You don't, there's no other steps in between, whereas the fusible, now I'm gonna have to cut and then fuse and then I can sew it. I'm just oh, I avoided this for so long. But realistically, it does actually increase the quality of the product, because the fusible interfacing will keep it from actually stretching and stuff like that. So in some ways, it's probably a better move anyway. Besides cost too. Okay, we're gonna make sure that those are lined up. There we go. Alright, so there's the cracker cats ready for top stitching. Just realized I should do the frogs as well, because we'll just do top stitching all at the same time. About 20 minutes and then I'll head. So I think we'll probably end up installing all the zippers, and then we will also top stitch these, and then I will head out. And then depending on what my voice does tonight, I may or may not be back on camera to finish these. It's not as squeaky as it was, but it hasn't improved much. My goodness. Like I said, it's not sore or anything like that, so I don't know what's up. It's not like I've talked more than I've talked in the last few months either. Oh, okay, there we go. So basically this marker line is to tell me when to start and stop stitching. I never used to do it. I used to always like guess it, but this is one of the changes I made this year, and it has made my sewing life far better. You could mark it with a pen, you could mark it with chalk, you could mark it with pins. Obviously I don't pin my zippers in, but honestly I think that the pins would be the most effective way to actually mark it, because it would also help hold the fabric in place. But since I don't pin, the air erasing marker is the best option for me. So yeah, we'll get the zippers installed into all of these, and then I think we'll have time to top stitch them. And then, like I said, I'll head out. So after the top stitching, there'll be ribbon placement. Basically, pull tabs on either end of the bag so you can open and close it easier. And then I'll be doing, so yeah, so stitch this in, top stitch it. Ribbons for either end, and then what else do we do? Oh, and then we box them and turn them. So I think as long as my voice isn't worse than it is right now, so as long as I still have a voice, I'll be on tonight to chat about those and like chat around as well. Obviously, if you have questions, feel free to throw them in the chat, or if you're watching this later, feel free to throw them in the comments. I'm more than happy to help. I am sorry if my voice is not projecting correctly. I know someone said the other day that my voice was quite quiet or there was no sound, which I think might be because of where my laptop is sitting and where my mic is kind of positioned at this point. I am looking into some solutions to kind of try to fix that. I knew it was going to be a problem, but basically what I need to do is I need to do a boom where it can come down, and like I need to extend my cable so that I can move it away from the actual laptop. It's also, this microphone is known to not necessarily have the, like, it's got really good sound most of the time, but it doesn't necessarily have a lot of like really good distance sound. Although the mic, like, in my in the actual like broadcasting studio is very happy, so I don't know what's up. Okay, let's get this placed. I am still giggling to myself over this stupid voice. My god. And then actually if we get these finished tonight, I think what we'll do is we'll probably move, so we'll finish sewing these, and then I think, sorry, that would be annoying. I think what we'll do after that is we'll go and we will start cutting the fabrics for Ancient Arts Yarns wholesale. Basically I have free reign with the fabrics, so I'm just gonna cut a bunch that I want to cut, and then Caroline can say yay or nay once they're made, and if she doesn't like them, whatever, they'll go in the shop. That's where I'm at with that one right now. Okay, there we Actually, yeah, that'll work, because what I'll do is when the kids are home, they're always a little bit off after school. They really like to watch their TV. And that's fine because they've been out all day. I'm very much into Gabby's Dollhouse right now, which is super cute. I like that show. But I can set them up down here, and I can just move the fabrics downstairs. So that'll be good. Alright. There we go. Line up these fabrics. Sweet. Well, thank you for joining me, because this has been beyond, besides the voice, this has been a really good, smooth sewing session. Everything's just kind of like come together nicely. Knock on wood. Yeah. Tomorrow I am going to be working on my kiddos' outfits, so I probably won't be streaming until the evening if I come on. Best way to find out about the stream is to either like hit that bell icon on YouTube, because that'll let you know whenever I post anything. So shorts, lives, videos, just in general, and or Instagram. And because I do post a link directly on Instagram in my stories when I'm going to be on live, typically with a generalized time of when I'll be on as well. Today I was a little bit off simply because I was just, this morning was a lot. I love my kids, but it was really loud, and so I needed that like decompression time before I came and talked more. So if you were coming over from Instagram, I am sorry. I was a little bit late compared to what I said I was going to be. But yeah, I need that decompression and like just turn my brain off for a few minutes time for sure. Alright, we have interfacing back here. This is the last of this interfacing, that's why it's so curled. It's like some of the last stuff on the roll, so it's just like, I'm going to roll up as tight as a poster. And looking at the time, I think we'll just sew these zippers in, and then I will do in top stitching tonight as well. Just so I have got that nice big chunk of wiggle room for traffic and everything like that. Alright, there's the frogs. Turn this around. Wiggle, wiggle. Shimmy. There we go. Alright, and then we'll place this in here. Oh, my cat is walking on the stove upstairs. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. I need to do dishes. Because household chores don't rest even when you're busy with work. Damn it. I just realized that I don't really want that sitting there. It's in the way. Alright. There we go. Put this here. Over there. Okay. There. Now. Frogs, 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 frogs. This fabric is so good. So I've discussed this before, and I have not linked it, so I will try and put it into like the videos I've talked about on live playlist that I have. It's not actually a video though, but I will try and find a video about it. But when I was buying this fabric, I was like, these frogs really remind me of something, and I could not place my finger on it. It's like, what do these frogs remind me of? Why do these frogs look so Japanese? Like, I don't associate frogs with Japan, but it feels very traditional. Sorry, that was very loud. But then I finally figured out what it was, is that there's a scroll in Japan that is like the animal scroll, basically. And what that is, and why it reminds me of the frogs, is because frogs and rabbits are like one of the main things in it. So that's why it feels so Japanese. And why frogs are like, I don't know, it just feels very traditional. Even though that's totally not what I would typically associate with Japan. So, you know, the more you know. So I'll try and find a video about that and put it in the playlist, because I know I chatted about it before, And I'm pretty sure what I did is I was like, look it up on Wikipedia. Here's the name. But that's kind of useless, so I'll try and find a video on it and put it in the playlist, because that's way more fun to learn about stuff for me. I don't even really know that much about it. I just know of it. That's part of it. Is that it's like, I know that it's there. But I don't know more than that. So watching a video about it myself was probably not going to be, like, go astray. Anyway, I like the frogs. Hi, cat. What did you get into upstairs? He's down here, like, licking his lips, like, I just licked the butter, Mum. Probably what he did. He is a butter cat. I don't know why. The butter's not even uncovered. He probably, like, snuck in the side of it or something. Alright, there we go. Sweet. Okay, let's do this measurement here. There's a 1/2 inch up there. And then, yeah, we will, I'll throw the other frog back under just so they're ready. And then we can, like, turn all of these in preparation for top stitching, and then I will skedaddle and go get my kiddos. That feels like some of that zipper was not caught properly, so let's go over it again. Feels like it kind of like wandered. Yeah, 100% did. Alright, I'm glad I'm going back over it. Although I definitely overstitched that. Oh well. Yeah, because Caroline was saying she needs some brighter patterns, so this might be a good one to actually send to her shop as well. So let's go sewing up here. Go, and then we'll do zippy zip on this side first. Although I don't know if this brighter green will sell in the shop. I don't know. I'll send her a message and find out. If you ever see me making anything on the stream and you're like, oh my goodness, I have to have it, you can always comment in the chat. Although the best way to actually get a hold of me is actually through the website, which is ateliernekozuki.com. Or you can DM me through Instagram, actually. That is the second best way. Well, I'd actually say Instagram might be one of the best ways to get a hold of me. But on the website, Flynn is like scratching the front of the stock dressers. Apparently he needs some attention. Anyway, contacting me through the website will send an email to me, and then I'm able to like email you back. So if you ever have any questions about anything, I am happy to help you in either of those locations. Obviously, if you've placed an order and you're wondering about your order, please have your like order info handy. That's going to be the best way to let me know if you've got questions about it. Alright. And if you have been eyeing anything, I will be running a Boxing Week sale starting at like 12:01 a.m. Mountain Time on December 26th. Boxing Week is like a far bigger event in Canada than like, well, it used to be the bigger event than something like Cyber or like Black Friday and stuff like that. So we're going to be doing that again. I will be running charity stuff again as well, same as I did in November. So on that weekend, I think we'll be doing the same thing. We'll be doing a for every cat item sold, I will donate a can of wet cat food to the Cochrane Humane Society, and for every like item So for every cat item sold, that's cat food. And then for every, or maybe just I'll do the cash equivalent to the cans of cat food for the Humane Society in the area, because that'll, then they can use it for what they need, which still will probably be wet cat food. But sometimes that's just better for everyone's finances and easier for them to like account for. And then we'll be doing I think I'm going to put it up to $2 donation to Doctors Without Borders for every item sold that week as well. Along with the sale on Pick Your Own, which I did not do in November. Now, if you are looking for Christmas gifts, I am still offering local pickup within Cochrane and Calgary. I'm happy to accommodate either of those locations. Mostly in the northwest of Calgary if we can arrange it, but we can always chat about that. Or you can find my items down at Caroline's shop in the southeast, right across from Shaw GMC on the Blackfoot, or at Market Spot in Market Mall. They've both got a little bit different stuff. Market Mall does not carry the Kato bags, and Caroline does not carry the planner pouches, so that's kind of the difference. You have a little bit different stock at each place. That zipper is darn near perfect. It is a little bit brighter than the background, but I will take it. Right, and then one of the last things I do is I typically finger press this, because then when I go in to actually sew it, I don't need to worry about if everything is centered or not. I should have finger pressed it before I turned it, but you know, do it when you remember. Alright, and where are we at? Okay, we are almost out of time. So again, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for putting up with this, like, voice, because apparently it is not going to get any better for a little bit. I will very likely be back on tonight. I don't know if I'll be chatting or if we'll do more of an ASMR stream. Even when I'm doing ASMR streams, I am more than happy to, like, answer in the chat as well. Because sometimes it's nice to have this, like, stream of consciousness a little bit directed. I don't know. Maybe. I don't mind. It might be better for you guys, though. Who knows? And if you haven't liked or subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. I am actively working on growing my YouTube audience, so that I am somewhere other than the metaverse. And you can always subscribe to my newsletter as well, and that will be a good way to find out about stuff before a lot of people do. So I do appreciate the time you have spent with me. Thank you so much. Hope you've enjoyed it. And we'll finish turning these bags, and then I am going to head out. Got 2 more here, and then we will say goodbye. Actually, we'll say matane, which is, it's a informal way for Japanese people to say goodbye, more of like a see you later, which I always like. Alright. Off-white frogs. Frogs. There we go. Oh my goodness, they look so good together. Sound like I'm talking about some sort of like power couple. So this is a really good example though of like how these different color backgrounds do also change the color of the pattern on them as well. So the green, actually, it's like swirls and dot swirls are in a darker green, and the frogs are actually a darker green, whereas on the off-white the swirls are more of a yellow green, chartreuse maybe, and the frogs are actually a lighter green. I would put the frogs on the off-white, actually closer to the background color of the green frogs. So, you know, little differences. That's why I typically, if I see a pattern I like, I do typically tend to purchase a lot of the same pattern in different colorways. So, you know, just to keep it interesting. Alright, there we go. So as I said, matane,
I will be back on tonight, and well, hopefully, if I lose more of my voice, I will put a post up on YouTube as well saying that I'm not going to be back on tonight. I hope you guys all have a fantastic few hours or evening, and I will chat with you. If I don't chat with you tonight, I'll be chatting with you on Wednesday. So I hope you all have a fantastic few days. Bye.